Hey, welcome to TokuTalkers. Today we're talking GoZyuger episode 13, Housekeeper Run, Ryugi's Manners. We finally got a Ryugi-focused episode. Hi, I'm your
Yeah.
host, Peter. With me is my co-host, Wyatt, as
Mm,
usual. And
yes.
yeah.
I'm very excited to talk about some Carranger.
Yeah, because I know you're a
Because
big Car Ranger fan. We talked about like the first episode of this podcast, but you love Car
yeah,
Ranger. So I'm sure this
it's one.
episode was quite...
Yeah. It's one of my like golden '90s shows. I've talked about before, but that like the '90s in general, just like a really good time for Sentai. Like, there's some weaker shows here and there, but for the most part, it's just like, oh, and it's not just because I grew up with Power Rangers,
Yeah.
and those are like the first years of Power Rangers. It's the shows are generally really well done, and I think Car Ranger, Mega Ranger, Ginga Man all in a row are like banger after banger.
Yeah, from the little I've seen of all three, yeah, I can tell those are some like that's a high quality streak.
Mm-hmm. But yes, we're here. We're talking about episode 13, and the most important thing, like you said, Ryugi, 13 episodes in, finally has like a really good episode under his belt. Presumably, even next episode is going to be about him. So I always figured that they would eventually get around to him, which is why I never like discounted him as a character or
Yeah,
anything.
and
I
like
was
he's
always
had
like,
his moments like as a supporting character, like either
absolutely.
through bits or just like cool action moments. But like, and then now it's finally nice to see him in the spotlight after everyone else has gotten in the spotlight, especially because. Judging by modern Sentai standards, they're kind of holding on to they're kind of holding off on the Sixth Ranger for a bit. Like, at least I
Yeah.
could be wrong. And next episode's like, oh, the Sixth Ranger tease is here, but like they're kind of holding off on like because usually it's like nowadays it's like even in the single digits they introduce the Sixth Ranger. Like Zenkaiser
Yeah.
had two Kaiser in episode 8,
Mhm.
and like by this point in Dawn Brothers, but like
Yeah.
they introduced Dawn and Torbolt, so
Mhm.
it's very it's kind of I like the restraint. Granted, this show has a lot of moving parts, so probably adding another moving part isn't the wisest move. So,
Sure.
and we
And
already
then
have
like
a rival character in Gerudo who kind of fills that
mhm.
like that archetype of like extra ranger. So,
Yeah,
um,
do we have has there been like a scan or a
rumor.
leak or anything like
We
any kind
don't
of
know the
rumor as to
design. I keep hearing polar bear is the theming for the
okay.
six. That's all I
That's funny.
know. That's all
that
I
is
know about the six. That it's themed around a polar bear.
that is interesting. That is a weird animal to pick for the because all the other ones have been like common thematic animals, kind of like I guess
Yeah,
besides unicorn, all of them are like leader type. Because they're all
even then,
the
like
number one.
unicorns have like not like I can't think of like a specific Sentai, but like they unicorns. I feel like have been like in legends and shit have been known to
Mhm.
be leaders. So
Yeah, but like just all they're all based on like because it's the number one Sentai. So
yeah,
each one is sort of their own guy. So polar bear, that's just like a very interesting choice because it's like I can only think of a handful of bear themed, Sentai heroes.
yeah.
So
Well, we'll see. But like anyway, back to like the actual episode instead of speculating for the future. Uh yeah, I do like we basically Universe Warrior Car Red. First off, really fun. Like I really fun use of the safety Car Ranger
mhm,
gimmicks, like with all the whole like stopping and
mhm.
like like
Yeah, definitely
that's
more Signal Man esque, with his like devotion to like safety laws and like
yeah.
interrupting combat to make it so that the heroes and the villains are both equally annoyed by
Yeah.
him, which I'm fine with, like just taking that the like traffic safety thing and like turning it into a character trait. Even if it's not very similar to the actual Red Racer.
Yeah, no.
Um,
Anyway, like from what I understand about GoZyuger's like Universe Warriors, it's like all of the. They're
yeah,
not pulling from like the red specifically. It's just the red is like the poster boy, so they pull from like
mhm.
all the shows.
Yeah, that's why
All
it still gets a thumbs up from me because that's some of
Yeah.
my
And
favorite
anyway, it's a
jokes
different
in
character,
Carranger.
and like
Yeah.
speaking of that different character, it's Ryugi's maid,
Hmm.
Shoko, who is played by an
Yeah.
I think. Let me double check the act. I know it's an Ultraman actress. She's
Right.
been an Ultraman. I want to make sure I get the right Ultraman what they play, because I've gotten Universe Warrior actors wrong before. That's maybe okay. Ultraman Z. She played the
Hmm.
supporting character, the main like girl in Ultraman Z.
Hmm.
Yoko, which is funny because the character's called Shoko. The
Yeah.
show.
Yeah. I do. That did make me think. I was like, why? Because French maids are so common in like anime and like Japanese media. Is it like a weird like? Oh, that was one of the like the French just culturally exported their maids or whatever, like in the 19th century or something, like when they were trading with Japan, and then that's why like I was just wondering like why is all maids that are in like Japanese stuff like they're always French maids like there's no right like you know what I'm talking
I mean,
about like
like
I was just thinking
I
about
don't
that.
know much about that like subculture, so like I
Sure.
wish I had information, but it is a good
But, you know, there's like
thought.
maid cafes and stuff out, you know, like and when I looked it up, all people are like Japanese like maids because they're in anime, and I'm like, but why are they in anime? Like, what is the what's the historical context of that? That's like
uh,
saying like, oh, the reason why pan is the word for bread in Japanese is because the Portuguese traders that came over and introduced them to like baked goods and everything. They also use pan for the word for bread. So that's there you
yeah.
go. That's cultural exchange. You know, so I just thought about that with
No, that's
Shoko
it's a
showing
good
up.
thought. It's a good. Always thinking. What? Where was I? Like yeah, so yeah, like so that we learned that basically Ryugi's like base like we know that he was like devoted to the Tegazord and that he basically just left his family, but now we get a little more context of that where it's like his family's like a bunch of doctors, so
Hmm.
it's like and he's like kind of a rich kid that like kind of like
Yeah.
escaped the rich kid like lifestyle to just become this monk. So yeah, we don't really get like too like well, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get expanded on that next episode when we get the backstory,
Hmm.
but like it like just of like in the present it seems like we do see he still has a lot of like the rich kid manners as we see with the competition in this episode like with
Yeah.
manners number one who is really a really funny no
Yes.
one.
This is it's a great like the no one's very funny. The contest is really well done. It isn't one of the situations where however just sort of steamrolls it and is like whatever, who cares? And then whatever. Like they actually play through the actual game and everything and have it so that Ryugi like fairly beats him in terms of manners at the end. Especially like I really love how it's resolved where you know as they're fighting him he sort of expresses the idea that somebody giving grace to somebody else that doesn't have proper manners is actually better than just like being elitist and beating somebody down because
Yeah,
they don't have proper manners
very
like
good
that kind
moral
of
there.
yeah it's again like we're going to talk about France that's the noblesse oblige you know as in like it's the obligation of the nobles to
Hmm.
like help and protect those under them which is you know doesn't actually shake out in reality unfortunately but it's a good idea and it like fits very well with all the manners stuff in this episode so
Yeah. And then like yeah, so that whole happens. Ryugi gets some cool fighting game combos and shit.
hmm
And
oh
then
yeah he
like the
does
end,
he like does
the
like
volleyball.
yeah, like squash, like he's knocking it against the monster against the wall with a hammer. It's pretty sick.
Yeah. Um, but then the end of the episode, the little like bling bling the believing by wind tease for the next episode is really interesting because Shoko gets so aggravated with Ryuki just not going that she becomes berserk car red, or
Mm-hmm.
which is a completely new form. It's basically like taking like okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Car Rangers villains are punks, right? Like
Yes.
space punks,
Yep.
right? So it's basically
Mm-hmm.
taking that aesthetic and putting it on the hero, because it's like, oh, she's gone berserk and shit. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a really cool idea. The suit also just like the added like little coat. I'm a big fan of like just putting clothes on superhero suits, like in
Yeah.
Spider-Man or like we saw it in Boom
Mhm.
with Champion Jacket. So it's
Yeah.
like that. I
Totally.
love that aesthetic and just the like, that this is again, it's a really cool way of like having your cake and eating it too, with the whole like, oh, we're doing Super Sentai homages, but we're also doing new stuff with these. Like we've talked about that with like Don Momotaro and the King Oger,
Yeah.
where it's like their power sets aren't just carbon copies of their old shows. They have like new stuff up their sleeve.
Yeah, and she puts on like a Ryuko from Kill la Kill style like punk girl voice, which is very
Yeah,
charming. It's good. Like I feel like that's the necessary, or that's like a fun twist that I feel like really elevates the character beyond just like a generic maid character, is that,
yeah,
oh, the reason why she is such a stock maid is that it's going to be funny when she shifts to like being a punk,
yeah,
and like like you said in Car Ranger, their biker gang Bosozoku or Bozak, whatever. uh so the villains, I will say, in Car Ranger, like if you ever get around to watching it, that is like a huge part of the appeal. It's very similar to G Ranger. I do think the main heroes are all entertaining, but the villains are like, that's really
yeah.
what you're invested
The
in
the
with
villains
that show.
from what I've seen of Car Ranger sound really fun. Like,
Yes. So in that, I feel like they were able to pay tribute to that in GoZyuger and Boonboonger by having very entertaining villains in both of those shows.
yeah.
So like, I always
And
feel
like
like
now
the
they're paying
car
tribute here
shows.
with the whole like the hero, like the heroes like walking a line between like the berserker and the polite
Mm.
hero. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and then that's also like, again, if you want to make it a Don Brothers reference, like
Oh my
like you said with Don Torabolt, like where
god.
he switches between like being like a normal kind of like fun hero guy and like a complete fucking lunatic between his like two different forms. So it's like, yeah, I love that. That's
Yeah.
it's good stuff.
Yeah, just great episode in general, I'd
Yeah,
say.
if I had any, maybe not issues, but like some comments, is that we kind of like the fight at the end. It definitely felt like it was really padded out because of all of the other like
Yeah,
characters just showing up.
just like oh, we have to have a GoZyuger, Garudo, the Ring Hunter
Yeah, yeah,
fight,
like
and
he
like
has to
he did
show
not need
up
to
and
be
then,
here.
yeah, exactly. Like in the giant robot fight, like usually
I mean,
they're
granted, the
not
giant
like,
robot fight was real funny, and I thought it tied in thematically with the whole like elderly manners thing with
yes.
between like the like Kinji and the just the mook of the week. So
Uh-huh. Yeah, I like that, and again, I like the continued like, oh, these generic like the Golden Bell guys, like they are always given a very specific personality, even though it's the same suit. That this one is wearing like a like whatever, like a nursery
yeah,
like little vest thing, whatever the hell they're called, like one of those things, that like kindergarten teachers would be wearing. And like, yeah, so that's the joke, is that like, that is kind of it is messed up that in general old people are kind of like treated as like children just because they need assistance or whatever. So he is right to be mad
yeah,
about that, so screw that. But
yeah.
anyway, that's all I have to say about that plot line. I think that
Yeah,
the
I'd also like
main.
to point out that the director of this episode, Kenshin Tanimoto,
Mm,
he, this is his first. Granted, he's directed Sentai specials before, but this is his first
okay.
time directing for the main show, and I thought he did a pretty good
Oh,
job.
there you
The
go.
two specials he directed were both the Hurricaneger Dawn Brothers and Abaranger Dawn Brothers specials that tied into their
Okay.
20th anniversary movies. Those were pretty good. Like
Mm.
especially like the Abaranger one. So
Yeah. Ranger, still have not seen Ranger. I've
oh,
only
it's one
seen
of
a
my
little.
favorites.
I've only seen a little bit of it, maybe the first like 6 or so episodes.
Yeah. When you get
But
around to it, like let me know because it's a good one. It's probably the best dinosaur Sentai.
yeah, I bet.
I mean, granted, like you're not a big GoZyuger fan. GoZyuger you kind of only like for the villains, and I don't know your
Yeah,
feelings on Real Soldier. So
Soldier, like Kyuger is okay. I'm not like a huge Riku Sanjo fan in general, like of all the stuff that he's made. Maybe
yeah,
Double is my favorite thing that like he wrote. And then Ryu Soldier, I like a lot of it, but there's some parts I don't like. I really don't like the villain or the Gold Ranger in
yeah.
Ryu Soldier. Like he's super annoying. But yeah, whatever. Uh, it's a cool. It's got swords. It's cool. They're like you know,
Yeah.
the little dinosaur dude that follows him around. He's cool. Anyway, I think we're done.
Yeah, we basically are done. I
Talking about
don't
the
just,
episode.
I just wanted to just be like, hey, check out Operator eventually.
Yeah. Oh, I will. Don't.
Yeah. But anyway, plug your stuff, Wyatt.
All right, go on over to Twitter or Bluesky, Wasp Ranger, WAZP Ranger. Mostly stream of consciousness stuff, but I do post about podcasts I'm in or videos I'm making right now. I'm making a video on Stugo.
Let's go.
Yeah, new Disney show that came out. It's very good. Video is going to be like an hour long. I'm almost done with it. I'm going to get it out like either next week or sometime before the Switch 2 comes out. Basically, that's my like deadline that I wanted to do. So that's the next video. I have a couple other planned after that, but I won't put the cart before the horse here. If you want to support me on Patreon and if you want to check out Cartoon Buffoons and everything, which is a podcast that I do with my friend Morgan, we just had Buster on for an episode that'll be out sometime in June, and that's about Fantastic Four. So get hyped for that. But if you want to get that like a week early, go on over to my Patreon. It's only magic. Donate $3. Bam. You get it a week early. If you only got $1, that's fine. You get Well Cool Robot, which is me and my friend Wayne going through every single robot in existence. It's also a good time. And if you just want to check out Cartoon Buffoons without paying any money, also on my YouTube channel, It's Only Magic. And there you go. They're all up there for free. They go up there for free a week after they're on Patreon. So, Buster, how about you?
All right, hi, I'm Buster Corp. I do a variety of videos on my YouTube channel. I don't know what's this week's video gonna be. I usually do weekly, but like sometimes I've been taking breaks, and just because it's like I can't. Sometimes I just don't have an idea for the week, or just I'm working on a bigger thing. But yeah, you can find that stuff on my YouTube channel. I talk about a lot of tokusatsu if you really enjoyed me talking toku here. But you can also just enjoy it every week on this channel, Modular Media, where there's a variety of podcasts coming out. There's the AF where Analytical Fanboys, where like once a month one of the big four picks a thing. This month we're doing Berserk 97. And then we every week besides this show, there's on Tuesdays, there's usually on Tuesdays there's Modular Components where me and the boys just shoot the shit and find out. And yeah, that's most of the plugs out of the way. Yeah, that's all the plugs out of the way.
Yeah.
Like we'll see you. Hey, thanks for joining us for TokuTalkers. We'll see you next week for GoZyuger episode 14.
Peace out.